Hi guys, it's another Yoga with Carrie. I cannot see anything. This is a bad idea. Today we are doing a heart opening flow. So this is all about letting the love flow throughout you. So once you have an open heart, so it's back bending, but it's more heart opening because we want to open up the chest to really, because normally we are closed in and we don't let anything come in. We're always trying to protect ourselves, but what my idea is, we're going to open that all up. So you're just going to breathe through everything, breathe through every posture, and really feel everything coming in. So we're going to start in a seated position, exactly what you're doing now. Your legs can be out in front if you want, and you're just going to put one hand on your heart and the other on your stomach and breathing deeply. So starting that deep breathing through the nose and out again through the nose. Feeling the chest expand on your hand and then letting it fall in. Just doing this a couple more times. Your eyes can be closed. And just sinking into the feeling of being here now on your mat. Taking some time out for yourself. To feel all you need to feel. So if any feelings arise, just let yourself feel that. It's all about feeling today. Sit in it for a while and then slowly let it go with each breath. Because that's what heart openers are all about. Bringing feelings that you suppressed back to the surface so we can let it go and move forward. One more breath. And then your hands come on your knees, and we're going to do some cat-cow sitting. So rolling the shoulder blades together, chest shines forward, and giving yourself a double chin almost, and your head feels like it's against a wall, pushing it back. Exhale, arch the spine, suck the belly in, chin to the chest, eyes look down, inhale. Exhale. You can move with your breath, so take as slow as you want to go. Really feel all the spine moving, pulling the shoulders and the elbows to the back. Exhale. I'm really bad at it. I always exhale through my mouth, but let's try and do that through the nose. One more. Inhale. Exhale. With an inhale, come back to a neutral spine and your hands clasp behind your back. Push the fingers into the floor, eyes look up. Exhale, roll yourself forward, arms reach up to the sky. Inhale, open up the chest, collarbones shine forward. Exhale, down. Inhale, up, and when you get to the bottom, just change the interlocking of your fingers. So change the positioning of your thumbs, change the positioning of your pinkies to make them all feel weird. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, warming up the shoulders as we're doing a couple of bridge poses. And some, because heart openers are all about opening up the shoulders as well. Exhale, and then come back to a neutral position. Unclasp the hands And then bring the hands to the front of the mat, untuck the feet, and we're coming into a tabletop position. So shoulders are in line with the wrists, the knees are in line with the hips. And you can step it back a little bit actually. Pushing the bum high, we're coming into puppy pose. So pushing the bum as high as we can, the hips as high as we can, and trying to push your fingers away as well, bringing the chest and the chin as close we can to the mat as possible. Puppy pose. This is a nice back bend, just warming up the spine. Eyes look forward. Pushing the fingertips into the floor. Not forgetting about the breath. And then if you want to come a little deeper, you can come onto your fingertips right on there, and you're trying to, so it feels like this ball underneath your hands, and then you can push down. So you're going a little bit higher. Your shoulders are getting an even deeper stretch as well. Everything's feeling just a little bit deeper. Push the bum high. One more breath. And come up slowly. Bring the hands back. You can arch the back just to release that tension. A counter stretch. And then coming back to neutral. Stepping the hands to the feet, or walking the hands to the feet, rolling yourself up one vertebrae at a time, and coming to the front of your mat. The feet meet at the top, big toes touching, heels a little bit apart. Hands shine forward, and you're just going to ground yourself down here. We're all about letting love flow, but we must ground ourselves first to do that. So feel each corners of your feet, lifting the toes up, and that's where you're going to find those corners. Taking a few deep breaths here. And first I want you to set an intention for the rest of the class ahead. So this could be to not push yourself too hard, or as you usually would, or maybe you can just push yourself that little bit further to push past your comfort zone to maybe get into a pose that you normally wouldn't do. We don't want to hurt ourselves, we just want to maybe push ourselves. This could be feeling those feelings really, really deeply that we usually wouldn't. I'm a sucker for that. I usually just push past it, but this is where it's all about letting it come in. So we'll come to that intention at the end of the class to see how you did. Hands come just on your tailbone, fingers facing downwards, or they can face upwards, and we come into a back bend. So I've got a really sore back and a really bad back, so I can't really do it that much, but you just want to lean back, engage the core, engage the legs. It's all about in your upper back and your chest. Eyes look at the back, and then exhale, we fold ourselves in half. Bending those knees. Inhale, eyes look up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. You can bend the knees and come and flow through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog. pulling the shoulder blades together, eyes look up, elbows to the back. Engage the legs, exhale, down dog. Just walk your dog a little bit here, we won't be here for long. And you can jump or step in between the hands and coming down onto your knees. Crossing the ankles, bringing the hands just planted in front of your knees or just a little bit wider. And you're going to come on up onto your toes. Ab work here because back bends, we need to have an engaged core. Eyes look neutral. Hold it for 3 more deep breaths. Spine, try and get that nice and flat. And then let it go. Change sides. Inhale and exhale. Hold it up. So holding this up by the strength of the core, not the strength of the legs. And then let it go. Tucking the toes and stepping outwards. So we're in a yogi pose. So we lower ourselves down. Get to where you're comfortable so that we're in a comfortable position. Elbows to the knees, eyes look forward. So we have to open up the hips as well for those back bends. You can rock back and forth, just get comfortable in the position. This is a good place to come back to the breath if you had lost it. Deep breathing through the nose. One more breath. Really push those elbows to the knees into the elbows. Plant the hands, you can jump or step back, plank, and lie down onto the stomach. We're coming into a sequence of Cobra pose. So hands, thumbs meet the chest, elbows face the back of the room. Really plant the feet into the floor, the tops of the feet into the floor, and lift off into baby cobra. Hands can come off the mat. Really push the feet into the floor. This is all from the strength of the back and the core. Lower down. We're going to do that again, but your feet are going to come off. So you're going to reach up. Your hands don't have to come off, but just your feet, really push them together. Not out wide, but they're trying to meet together. Don't forget about the breath. Rolling the shoulders back and lower down. Last time, this time, bring the hands and the feet off the floor. You can extend out the arms if you want to. Lift off, hands can come at the horizontal. 3 breaths. Really push up if you can. 2. Last breath, inhale. Reach up that little bit more. This is where you can push yourself. And exhale. Come down. One ear comes down on the mat. And just roll your hips back and forth. This is where the fun comes in for another flow. So tuck the hands, tuck the feet. Lift off, downward dog. We're going to start with the right foot. It's going to reach into 3-legged dog. Dropping that right foot to the left side, looking underneath the armpit to find that foot. Open up as far as we can go, So maybe you can come onto the outer edge of that left foot, dropping the right leg. Wild thing. Lifting the hips high. Eyes look up. And then coming back, three-legged dog, and then the knee meets the nose. Stepping that foot forward, the right foot forward. High lunge. Reaching the arms up. Pushing the heel to the back of the mat. Bending that front knee. And we're going to lean back, incorporating the back bends and the heart openers. Eyes can look up at the hands, really challenging your balance. One more breath. Drop those hands, step the right foot back. We lower down through our vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can step or jump in between the hands and lower down to seated. We're going into an ab flow. Just for a little while, we're just going to do this one time. Lifting the knees up. Your hands can come behind, they can come in front, or you can extend out. Holding that position, and if you want, we're going to make it a little bit harder by just zigzagging the feet, engaging the core, and you can zigzag those feet all the way to the floor as we lower down to the floor and drop it down. Since this is the first time through, we're going to go into bridge pose first. If you want, you can go into the wheel pose, but anybody else can come into bridge. So heels try and meet the fingertips, toes facing the front of the mat, and lift into a bridge pose. Your hands can come underneath your hips to really lift up just that little bit further. So elbows, try and get them to the back of the room, the front of the mat again. Open up the neck. We want to be able to breathe. Don't squeeze the glutes either, just keep them relaxed. We only want to engage the quads and the abs. Lift up just that little bit further. Exhale, slowly lower down. Rock and roll back to downward facing dog. So when you've got enough momentum, jump it back, lift it up, downward dog. This is a good time to check in with how you're feeling, how your breath is moving. How's that intention going for you? If you've forgotten about it, maybe come back to it. Maybe work on that just for this last time. Oh, there's a spider. And then we change sides, so left leg reaches up to the sky and drop it to the side, to the right side. Keeping the hips and the shoulders facing forward and down. Maybe we can come onto the outer edge, wild thing pose. Reaching the hips up high. Your eyes can meet the hands. And we come down. Really good dog. Ladybug on my mat. Oh my goodness. I am like, they're bringing to me. They're coming to me. And step the left foot forward. High lunge. Reaching the arms up, you know what's coming. Making sure that the ankle and the knee are in line at the front, just checking, looking down, and we come into a back bend again. Pushing the heart open, feeling whatever is coming through. One more breath. Exhale down. Move through your vinyasa however you want to do that. Exhale down. Step or jump in between the hands. Again, we're going to come into the ab work. So maybe challenge yourself. If your knees were bent, maybe you can extend them out this time. We're just going to hold this for 3 breaths. 2, 3, and lower down for 2 breaths. 1, 2, and drop it down. This time we're going to come into a wheel pose. If you want, you can go back to the bridge pose that we did last time, or you can follow me with bending the knees. Hands meet the heels at the back. Fingers come in by your ears, fingers facing the front of the mat, so flipping them round. Don't push yourself if you don't know how to do this. Maybe you can go find someone that does, and they can explain in person and help you out in person. If you do know, lift the hips high, come into that wheel pose, dropping the heels down, and staying here for 4 deep breaths. So extend out the arms as much as they can go, bringing the knees together, well, not together, but just try and gravitate them towards each other. One more breath, and exhale, dropping the head first and lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. Hands come down to the mat. You're just going to window wipe those knees, so twisting to each side before we counter twist, before we counter it. And then you can bring the knees in, which is such a relief. The nose can meet the knees. One last breath. Exhale. And then rock and roll onto your front exactly the way that we did it last time. Lower down onto your front. You can stay here by just bringing one ear onto the mat, twisting the hips, getting ready for bow pose. Is it bow or bow? I'm not sure. Who knows? But you can come into that locus pose. Locus. Wow, how am I doing this? I don't even know what I'm talking about. But that one that we reach the arms back, reach the legs up, or you can come into a full bow pose. So, holding on to the outer edges of your feet. Grabbing hold, trying to bring your knees so they're touching. And we want to try and get that touching the whole time we're up in the air as well. So don't spread them apart, but really try and keep them together. Lifting up the chest, lifting up the legs, pushing the fingers into the hands into the feet. This is such a good heart opener. Just breathe through it. I know it's uncomfortable, but that's where we push past those boundaries. Inhale, push up just that little bit further, and then exhale. We come down. You can push off into a child's pose. Bring the feet, the glutes to the feet, and just lowering down. One more breath. Just slow it all down. And then walk the hands to the knees. You can just give it a wee wiggle, feeling how that back is feeling. And then we're going to come down on our stomach again for Sphinx pose. So this is where our shoulders in line with our elbows. Pushing the tops of the feet into the floor, spreading the fingers wide. And then pushing the elbows, trying to push the elbows to the back of the mat as your eyes look forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together. You'll feel this in your upper back. Don't crank your head up too much. We're just nice neutral position. Dropping the ears away, the shoulders away from the ears. Just deepen your breathing. It's like a cat pose here, so bring the navel to the spine, roll the shoulder blades away from each other. As we just come into the last pose, so you can make your way into a lying on your back position. Slowly lower yourself down. Right knee comes into your chest, and we drop that right knee to the left side as we look over to our right side, trying to bring the shoulders both on the mat, so don't lift off the right, plant them both down. You can move the knee up and down just to see how that feels on each part of your back. Inhale, roll it back up, squeeze it in last time, and then you can change sides. Left leg reaches in, twist that left knee to the right side as we look over to our left side. Feel the belly move as you breathe. Your chest rise and fall. Roll the arm back, hug it in, and then hug in the other knee. Give yourself a hug and give yourself a little love like we all need. And then drop the knees, drop the arms. Let the feet flop open. As we just take these final moments just to be in the body. Feel the breath cleanse and move through each part of your body. Feel it sinking into the floor. the breath in your throat. And you can just stay here in that position. Maybe you come back to your intention of the class, see how you went. If you didn't go so well, there's always next time, and you just have to be gentle with yourself. So I thank you all for joining me, and I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope that you felt things that just came up, and it's so beautiful to do that. It's so important to be able to feel your feelings. I've only just recently learned that, and I just wanted to share that with you all. So thank you so much for joining me, and namaste.